I'm Jared Oliver. I am a journalism major here at Georgia State University. I'm a sports writer. I do radio, sports talk, and I'm a sports reporter for Primetime Sportz. I'm born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia, and I love what I do. I graduated from Lithia Springs High School in Douglasville, Georgia, and I went to Georgia Military School, Georgia Military College for 2 years to get my associate's degree in mass communications. I would say my driving factors, of course, is my family, especially my dad. My dad didn't go to college, and I'm one of his only sons to go to college. And he was always big on that, me going to college and getting an education. So I felt like that was something that always drove me to do something that hasn't been done, and I really do it for him. And also my mother, all the things that she's been through. She's been sick most of my life, and I use that as motivation so I can make her happy as much as possible. She deals with a lot of pain in her body and stuff, so I try to do the best I can here to make her smile and happy each and every day. I want people to realize that I am a great storyteller. I think that's the most important thing as a journalist, is telling a story and framing it in your perspective, but also being able to grasp and build a connection with the viewer. This industry is very competitive, and I'm willing to work hard, and I want people to remember me as being a guy that people want to listen to, and people want to hear my perspective and my analysis based upon sports or whatever the case may be. Primetime Sportz, this is Jared Oliver. Well, recently I just did an interview with a football player named Taurus Batiste, and he's a great guy. He's been here 3 years, and to see where the team is now, they're going to their first bowl game. I had a great interview with him, but what was more important to me was the conversation we had after the interview. He was telling me, that all the things he's been through, and how he's persevered through all of these things, and just building those connections, speaking with people, building those connections, and getting to know the person, not just on camera, but talking to them just as a regular human being. Pretty good stuff. I saw myself coming to school, but to play sports, and unfortunately, that didn't work out, and I probably wasn't good enough anyway. So, I always had a love for sports, and I asked myself, well, what do I want to do with my life? And I figured, well, there's got to be some kind of way I can stay around sports. So I chose to, trying to get in this industry of sports broadcasting, sports journalism, just the whole spectrum of the media for sports. And this is my way of staying around it. My aspiration is to become one of the most recognized multimedia journalists, not just broadcasting, but as a writer, as a television anchor, reporter, radio personality. I want to do all different things, and maybe not even just limit myself to sports. There are some things that I want to try, maybe investigative, things like that, but I just want to become the best sports journalist I can be. I've learned that it's very competitive, and it takes a lot of drive and work ethic, and I think that is kind of what separates me, and I'm kind of able to take criticism from anybody, and I use that and I try to implement that in my repertoire. And I think competition and work ethic is very important, and storytelling is definitely the most important thing in journalism. I never knew what I was good at, and I never understood. I would see my friends doing all these great things, whether it was in sports or class, but I never had that one thing I was really good at or I was known for it. So I struggled with what could I be good at to set myself apart and be recognized for. So I think that drives me into making a name for myself, and now people know that I am the guy in front of the television talking about sports, and I think that drives me just to be the best person I can be, and just remember where I came from and all the things that I struggle with, as far as just finding my identity, sometimes even just being insecure about myself, and am I good enough to be someone in this very difficult world. So the reason I love sports is because sports is something that no matter what religion or ethnicity or what you believe in, of all the crazy things that are going on in the world, sports is just for a little bit a time of where everyone can get away from all the political things and all the crazy things that are going on in the world. And it's just healthy competition. So just for a little while, people can get away from all of that stuff and just have healthy competition and root for the same team or even against the same team. Sports is one of the few things in the world that can get people away from that. Today, Trent Miles and the football teams leaves to prepare for their first ever bowl game, the Cure Bowl, in history against San Jose State University. The game will take place in Orlando, Florida at 7 p.m. Kickoff starts with the forecast. Yeah, that's pretty good. Don't be afraid to mess up. And when you see yourself mess up, whether it's on camera or you see a story that you don't like, it doesn't sound good, don't let that discourage you, because when you see yourself mess up, you get discouraged and you're like, oh, I'm not good enough for this, I'm not cut out for this. In actuality, you're supposed to mess up because you've never done it before. And I think being assertive and able to take criticism is very hard to do for some people. But I think when you have that and you can move on and succeed step by step to each and every level, then I think that will help you and you gain your confidence and you get your rhythm. It's all about reps, whether it's on TV or radio or even print. It's all about reps and getting better each and every time. I owe a lot of credit to certain people as far as me, getting to where I am now. I actually have an internship now with CNN, which I'm fortunate to get, and I owe a few people a lot of credit for that as far as me becoming, where I am now and developing into, because that internship is very hard to get, so I give credit to a lot of people, a few people in that case, to be where I am now, and I'm very fortunate for that and grateful, and I want to say thank you to those certain people. I'm Jared Oliver. I am a journalism major here at Georgia State University. I'm a sports writer. I do radio, sports talk, and I'm a sports reporter for Primetime Sportz. I'm born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia, and I love what I do.